This is raw and unfiltered, from sex, sports to culture, all topics considered. It's a good time with dope conversation. Every time you take a listen, it's a celebration. So tap in, you won't be disappointed. Keep it a buck, anything else is pointless. Facts over fluff, our discussions are poignant. Politically incorrect, well that's what the point is. We talk our talk like nobody else can. We give our perspective, not afraid to make a stand. Nothing off the record, every take and every rant is unapologetic, and we stand on that. We make you think, we make you laugh out loud. The realest place on the internet, hands down. We give it to you straight, nothing here is watered down. The best show in town, and you can bet the house. Yes, you can bet the house. Yes, you can bet the house. We give it to you straight, nothing here is watered down. The best show in town, and you can bet the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all already know what it is, and what it's always gonna be. Tonight, I got Mr. Jim Dropper himself. My man. SAPP, what's good, man? Talk to me. Let everybody know what it is with you, man, in the Simply Ball Dropping platform.
Man, I appreciate you having me on, man. Hey, it is what it is, man. We here, man. Simply Ball Dropping, like I said, man. We rocking and rolling, man. Like I said, we do shows, man. We do Marriage Chronicles. We do roundtable talks. We do our sports podcast, man. We just trying to find every avenue that we can touch on, man, just to get, people to tune in to us, man, and get people to listen to our podcast, man. So we trying to venture off and do some different things, touch a few avenues where everybody can relate to, get some new people on board, just trying to target a brand new audience with everything that we got going on over here at Simply Ball Dropping, man. So I appreciate you having me on, Big Smack.
Big facts. Now we did an episode together, man. And
crazy.
So it's only right that we came back and we did a part 2, because I had a lot more to say. I did.
And the crazy thing about it is when you said that, man, a lot of people rocking with the podcast we did, man. When I launched it and I put it on the radio station up there on the block radio, had a lot of feedback. A lot of people tuned in emails. I get a lot of DMs, man. I get a lot of text message, phone calls about our episode, and everybody likes the phrase that you use, the lakes and the oceans. So if we can run that back and you can touch, back on that in this segment.
My thing has always been, they say it's a lot of fish in the sea, so I don't want an ocean, bro. I'd rather stick to my lake. Lake, I know it's clean. I know what's in it. I know how many fish is in it, and it's pretty wet, so I like it. I like my lake. God damn it, the ocean is cool. Everybody can get in the ocean though. You know what I'm saying? In my lake, it's got a gated community around it, so it's like I got snipers on the roof. I got dogs. I got killers all around the perimeter. Security cameras, everything on deck. With the ocean, it's wide open. They can come get you from any angle. So it's like, nah, I'd rather stick to what I got, chill out in my lake and relax. Just because there's a lot of water don't mean it's good for you. I mean, look at Flint, but
bad water.
The reason, and we gonna touch we gonna touch back on it. The friend zone is I think it's different, cause you know what, I'm gonna tell y'all, cause we didn't really touch on it. Women can be in the friend zone too.
Oh yeah,
fellas, it don't just apply to us to be in the friend zone. Women can definitely be in the friend zone, but who do you think has a hard time accepting the friend zone? Men or women?
The men have we have a hard time, man. I'm gonna take my feelings out of it, man. Take my heart out of it. Men have a hard time accepting the fact that they're in the friend zone.
You know what? I know a lot of women don't like being in the friend zone. I'm not gonna say that they hate it more, but I'm gonna tell you, a lot of women don't like being in the friend zone for the simple fact that it seems like they know when they drop the ball.
But they can deal with that.
Like take that guy that you had been friend zoning for a long ass time, for years, and he finally stopped chasing. He finally stopped caring. He moved on. He got him a new piece. He married. He got kids. He got the life. Now women cannot take that in the instance of now you become on the menu to them now, because we talked about it on the 200th episode. The ring, the level of commitment is a magnet. It's a magnet now, because now I didn't think you was good enough for me, but you found somebody that felt you was good enough for them. So now I have to see if I still have that influence, that impact that I can dip in and talk. But see, you are right about the fellas. Me, I had a problem with it. Y'all know I talked about it. I had a problem. I never, but the thing about me was the old me, I felt like, yes, it was plenty of fish in the sea. I could definitely go get this woman, this woman, this woman, this woman. Like, bro, my whole thing has been this. I have 4 kids' mothers. So I've been around the block quite a few times. So it was like, if you rejected me, or I knew that I did not have a chance with you, and money and dick couldn't still get me in the door, fuck you. I'm not finna chase after you no more. I've pulled out all my stops. I've pulled out all my games. I have been friend zoned in a different way. Like I told you, I have a lot of kids. So they would tell me, yeah, you got good dick. You good enough to fuck, but I just don't know. I don't want to be in no relationship with a guy with all them kids. So it was like, damn, like I'm good enough for a piece of meat, but I'm not good enough for you to build something with, because I got all these chillings. So I think that's another way of being friend zoned. Another way that I came across of being friend zoned is the fact that no matter how bad a person's relationship is, naturally you're supposed to be able to take advantage of that situation. Like, be the shoulder to the crown. If you are the shoulder to the crown and you still can't get in the game, they still got you in your warm-ups, you are definitely being friend zoned. Like,
well, let me ask you this. Why do you think it's hard for women to accept a fact that a man has all these kids, but won't bring them in, but they want you to bring them in?
Honest answer. The more kids that a guy has, the less money he has to spend on that woman in their eyes. And the reason being, if this guy has 4 or 5 kids, he has to take care of these kids. I mean, naturally, a good man,
money on the chick.
Yeah, a good man, he has to take care of these kids. So when it comes to this woman, especially if you're not my wife, my kids are always gonna take priority over. I saw this Gucci bag in the mall today, and I just gotta have it. But if my kids need diapers or something, or it's gonna do something that's gonna beneficially mess them up in the short term, then you gotta wait on that bag. So I think a lot of women get scared of that, because if they see a guy with no kids or 1 kid, they can get whatever they want. But a guy like me who has 9 children, and the only person that I still go hard for is Miss Shantae. I still go hard for her, but you got to understand that I don't have time for extra shit.
Yeah.
So when guys out here, playing the field, tricking off, doing all this shit, Big Smash buying pull-ups and clothes and shoes and winter coats and shit for the kids, like priority. So I think that's what scares women off. So that's why the guy with 3 or 4 kids is not that attractive, unless he's an NBA player or a rapper with some money or a guy with some money. But it's a regular old Joe Blow who makes pretty good money, but again, it's a line. You are not top priority, especially if we have not said I do. You are not taking precedence over my kids. Like, it ain't gonna happen. So women tend to go for the guy, and you get friend zone like that too. If you got a lot of kids and you have or you have a woman, here's another one. You have a woman who's young, who's still having fun, who's not ready for the sit down and take care of kids and build a family life. You have women like that who are still trying to live their best life and take trips every 2 weeks, or, things like that. So that's another factor that comes into it. Like, I've learned that guys are the same way. Guys see a woman with a lot of kids, and that means she doesn't have a lot of time on her hands. She doesn't have a lot of free time, because 9 times out of 10, a mother's job is around the clock. Like, they never get a break. They get vacations and time away if the baby daddy is good, but let's say the baby daddy ain't good. Let's say the baby daddy in jail. Let's say the baby daddy don't want to be involved with the kids. Now you got to deal with a woman. You have to accept a woman who has 4 kids. Let's say she works. That woman's priority is going to be work and home with them kids. So if you're not ready to step up and deal with that, now, this is why I tell people, date in your lane. Date in your lane. Date in your lane. Date somebody. Don't settle because they got a fat ass or because they got money. You better pick who you're dealing with. See, me, I have been friend zoned. I got friend zoned by Shantae before we got together, and this is a real true story. Like, I would see her on the bus because she was a bus driver, and I would always tell her, like, yo, I'm gonna get you. You gonna be mine. And like, it took me like 3 years before she finally got the message that, I was serious. But at that time, me and her, we had lost our way. But when we got back together, it was like I had sent her a message on Instagram, and she read the message. We talked for a little bit, and then we disappeared. Like, she went that way, I went that way. So it was like, by the time she said, she used to always tell, I seen your messages, but at the time I just didn't want to respond to them. So we have a conversation, we connecting, and then you ghost. You don't say that, you'll move around. You getting friend zone like that too. Like, these are different ways of being friend zone. Like, okay, even then, if you have sexual relations with somebody, and then they don't call you back the next day or the same day, or shit, you don't hear from them after that, congratulations, you've been friend zone.
Yeah.
So,
different ways of being in the friend zone, and to touch on that from a guy's point of view, when you talked about, having all these kids, but there's an old saying that goes around, you're going to lose a lot of money chasing these chicks, but you're not going to lose chicks chasing money. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that money, and guys having all these kids and these women not bringing them in, throwing them in the friend zone because they can't get what they want at that particular time, I feel you on that. So, I mean,
yeah, and you know what? My whole thing is, I try to tell people, and people really need to listen to this. Metaphorically, if I'm on the bus, there's no way I'm going to go chase a woman that's in a Lexus. It's just not going to work, because me as a man, I'm going to feel inadequate. I'm in that situation. Like, I at least want to come to the table with some of what whoever I'm dealing with has, and I want them to come to the table with some of what I have. I don't want to feel like I'm inferior to you. I'm on the bus, you in this Lexus. What happens if her car breaks down? You think she gonna be riding the bus with you? I don't think so. So you gotta fit in your bracket. Like if you feel like you have the confidence to go approach that woman with that Lexus and you're on the bus, then be my guest. Go ahead. But you have to understand that people with Lexuses generally try to find people with somewhat close to a Lexus. So I feel like
they're going to try to find their value. They're going to try to find their value. They're not going to deal, like you said, they're not going to deal with no guy that's sitting on the bus.
Yeah.
You got to be at the
Yeah.
bus stop every day, you know, going to work. Everybody has ambitions, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Even though you don't have a vehicle, you catching the bus, you're trying to get to work to make some money. But
Facts.
a chick driving a Lexus, she's not going to stoop.
They not going to see that.
They're not going to stoop.
They not going to see that.
Yeah.
And guys like that too. Like I used to feel like, man, like my whole thing was, I've been in the friend zone quite a lot, and it wasn't because of who I was. It was just, you know, women tended to go want the bad boys, want the nothing ass dudes, the block boys that wore the same t-shirts for a week straight. You know, they leave the house with $10 and come back with $10. You know, guys with no ambition, no drive. You know, I always heard, you know, you too nice, you too deep. And my thing was, that kind of turned me cold towards women. So then I would get in relationships and I would be letting them know, like, I don't want them relationship. We kicking it. We having fun. We hanging out. We doing what we do. This is not a for sure thing. So in a way, you could say I was in a relationship, but I was still doing the friend zone thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we were together, but you were not the only one. I was not just dealing with you. Like my whole thing was, I like you. I like being around you. And it sucks, but it's like I'm one of them dudes that after a while I want more. I want more. And that's what it was becoming down to. Like when I would get in these relationships, you can be in a relationship and still feel like you have hit the end of the road. Like this is the end of the road. Like we have nothing, you know, when you feel like you have hit that patch and you can't get no better than that. So it was like, yes, I don't know if you ever had that feeling, but if you were in a relationship and you feel like it's never going to get better than this is the peak, you know, and you want to try to stay in for so many reasons, for the kids, because you got a business, because you started a life, you got your name on a mortgage, you put so many years into it, so you feel like you don't want to leave. That is a friend zone also. Just because you're in a relationship, you feel obligated because you put in all this work and all this time, but the passion is not there. The feelings is not there. You're looking at other guys. You're looking at other women. You're looking towards the door instead of getting up to close the door. You know, so it's levels to it, man. I did some research, man.
Yeah,
like
the thing about it is, I mean, I understand you're saying levels to it, but now as we get older, you look at the terminology friend zone. For any guy or any female out there saying they never been in the friend zone, looking at the terminology and all the qualifications and all the things that go on in a relationship, you've been friend zoned one point in your life. So you can't say that you ain't never been on. I know guys want to, with the alter ego, want to be big and bad. Nah, I ain't never been friend zone. I put her in the friend zone. Nah, she probably put you in the friend zone without you knowing it. But as you get older and you understand the philosophy and the terminology, you'll say to yourself, yeah, oh yeah, she got me. She put me in the friend zone. You just got to accept that. But, you know, it's good that you say that because, you know, being in a relationship, a lot of people want to stay in that relationship because of the kids. You got your name on a mortgage. You invested it. You got a business and everything. And you don't know when to let go. And by the time you let go, it gets, you know, toxic in that relationship. And then something has to bound to happen dramatically
Facts.
for you to get out. and it shouldn't be that way. You should be able to walk away with an understanding under your own terms, and let bygones be bygones. But people let stuff, get way too out of hand, and that's when you get the domestic violence and stuff like that. Well, I can't leave because but baby,
he takes care of me. He's good to the kids. He provides. He does these things. Yeah. Now I say a friend zone is a situation in which a friendship exists between two people, one of whom has an unreciprocated romance or sexual interest in the other. Remember, I was just talking about that. You can be in a marriage. You can be a baby mama, baby daddy, whatever, and not have that spark anymore, not have that feeling anymore for each other because it's dead. But you're there because this is your place to live. He takes care of me. She takes care of me. She cooks. She cleans. She does this. But the spark has ran out a long time ago. So that is a form of friend zoning.
And the definition that you just read, that all equivalates to what Jada and Will are going through.
Facts. Because you know what? And you know what? I truthfully think Jada, I think she's not happy. I think August did something to her.
I said that myself. I think August got a lot.
Yeah, I think he did something. He young, he was energetic, he did something to her, and it doesn't matter how much money Will Smith has or how big of a person he has or how handsome he is. It's like that them young strokes have gotten to her, and now she's just lashing out. And I think Will at this point is like, yo, it's cheaper to keep her at this point. It's cheaper to keep her because
he already said he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. So like that's rich people friend zoning. What Jada is doing right now, that's rich people friend zoning. People like myself, I can't friend zone like that. I can't get on social media and badmouth my lady because I know she's always gonna be there. No, that ain't how the middle class and the lower class and all that we handle our shit differently. We can't throw money at our problems and make everything go away. I'm the type of person that I believe in communication to a sense. Like, I've had some shit happen to me over the years, and it's like I am more focused on communicating with the person that I built the house with. Yeah. This is bet the house, so I gotta look at it as the people, they helped build the house, but the foundation started from in-house, So yeah, people added and made sure the grass was watered and the line was cut and the landscaping and all that shit was good. But bet the house started in-house. So it's like you have to know who you're building a foundation with.
But see, the crazy thing about it is in the Jada situation, I think they misconstrued some of her words too.
Yeah.
Because they didn't put the full conversation out there. Basically, Jada, she said communication is important for a healthy sex life.
Yep.
But 22 years was just young to realize that. The press said, Jada says having a healthy sex life with her husband is hard. So they just took little bits and pieces and they twisted her words so it made it good for the tabloid. So when I first saw it without knowing the facts, I'm thinking like you, Augustin played a big part in this healthy sex life. So what I'm trying to find out, what does Jada mean by healthy sex life? Like, I'm trying to dive more deep into that because the way they twisted her words, I don't think she said that. She's like, communication is a big part.
Yeah, I think again, when you've had spent 22 years with pretty much the same person, you're not gonna have the same type of sex for 22 years.
Oh nah. Hell no.
The same things that might have worked in year 1, year 2 might not work in year 20, year 15. year 16. So you have to sit down and you have to explore and have those uncomfortable conversations. I think, guys, it's an ego thing. You have to be prepared to be told from your wife that, hey, this don't feel good no more.
Yeah.
Can we do it like this? Can we try this? Can we switch that up? And I think that's pretty much why they started the swinger shit and shit like that. My whole thing with this was maybe Will gave August permission. Maybe he knew that they was messing around. Maybe he knew Jada and them was messing around. The problem was August fell in love. August went out, or maybe it wasn't just August. Maybe Jada put it on to him like the feeling is reciprocated. Like this is not just a one-way thing. So I think the problem was August put it out there in the light.
Yeah, he put it out there in the light, but he got to understand that you know what kind of situation you was getting yourself into. So you can't fall victim. You can't fall into that and be like, oh man, I done fell in love. Unless Jada, like you said, unless Jada did something outside the lines that really fucked his brain off and turned that mug out for him to fall in love and for him to so long wait to put it out there. It's like it's crazy. And like you said, if Will gave permission, it's like for her to test the waters, and August did that. And like you said, if she reciprocated that as, okay, feelings are mutual, hey, I might be falling in love with you. And Jada probably said the same thing. Hey.
Yeah, and that's the thing
I might
too,
be
like
for you too. So,
that's the thing too, like I never you're gonna have those kind of conversations. You're gonna have those kind of conversations. Your wife is gonna tell you, or your husband is gonna tell you, hey, this don't feel good like it used to, especially if you put some time in. So this is where you have to have an open mind, and you have to sit down and be ready to take criticism and figure it out, instead of getting mad like, okay, all right, baby, this ain't working no more, so what do you want me to do? Most guys would get mad and be like, who else you fucking? This like that. Like, so you have to have, and women too. Women have to be ready to have that. You know what I'm saying? You have to, sex is all about teaching. Yeah. You don't walk through the door and know what your woman and your man likes through the door. You have to practice. You have to figure it out, because you cannot touch a woman or be around a woman or be around a man the same way. All women and all men are different. Different thing, and that works outside of sex too. Different things work for different people. You know what I'm saying? You can't go off and eat vagina with one girl the same way you did with the other girl. The bodies are different. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same with a relationship. Like, my whole thing has been communication. Talk about it. Be adult. We're not 5 and 6 years old. If someone is not doing something that you don't like, or they're not hearing you, you have to extend them down and say, hey, look, we need to talk. I think with marriage it's a little different, because you're putting in the work. That's like a job. You got promoted. You left from being a manager, an assistant manager. When you get married, you are now the manager. It's now your store. You run this store now. So I think it's a lot different in a marriage. Now, in a regular relationship, you have that option to walk away. I mean, even in marriage, you have that option to walk away. But you feel like if you give somebody your last name and you take somebody's last name, you want to fight. You have to want to find something inside you that's worth fighting for. Yeah. I just had an episode and it was called Fight or Flight. And that was basically saying, look, you either gonna put this work in or you gonna go ahead on and move around. And if you're out, you're staying out. This is not a revolving door. So this is where communication comes in. That, are you big on communication? How does communication work with you in your life?
Man, communication is key, man. And I want to touch on this before I get in the communication thing, because this is relationships in general, marriages in general. Like you just said about, you got to sit down and have these uncomfortable conversations. It's about teaching. If something is going wrong in your sex life, you sit down and talk about it. But our problem is, men and women too, but I'm just speaking for the men. Every time like your girl will switch things up and do things different, the first thing that come to your mind is like, man, who's she out there fucking with? What's she out there doing? So, and the reason why I say that, because the other night, just watching an old movie, Why Did I Get Married Part 2, right? And, Tyler Perry had this, incident with his wife, that she was going to work, putting her makeup on different,
Facts.
going to the job, coming
Facts.
home, and she was excited. And she said, hey, when you came home that night, you fucked me like you never fucked me
Facts.
before.
Facts. And he noticed it.
This guy. Yeah, he noticed
He
it.
noticed it.
So it's like we have this notion of thinking like, they out there doing something wrong. And as soon as we switch something up and do something different, you out there fucking with it.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
The communication is key in this part, because you got to sit down and be able to have these open conversations and this dialogue. It's like, if something's not working and you're not getting satisfied the way you used to get satisfied, let me know. Let's work on this together. Sometimes you got to turn the clock back. As you get older, you're not going to be doing the stuff that you did when you was 19 and 20 years old, trying to blow her back out every night.
Facts.
Things got to change, but sometimes, it might be one of them that, she wants you to blow her back out. You just got to turn the clock back, and you just got to do it.
And you gotta be willing to oblige. Because I'm telling you right now, you gotta know who you married, and you gotta know who you dealing with. Because they might not always want you to blow their back out. Sometimes they may just want the slow vibe. So you have to be ready on a moment's whim, because women change. So you have to know who you married and know who you dealing with. It's good to be versatile. It's good to be patient. It's good to listen. It's good to go off the signs and the vibe. Body language is everything. If you know who you're dealing with's love language, oh my God, that opens up a whole entire ball game. To see me, I used to get mad, and then an older lady put me up on game. Like, you don't never want to get mad when a woman tell you, how they like things. You want to listen. You are more in the game when you listen. The coach is liable to keep you out on the court and let you shoot out of that slump. If Michael Jordan missed 30 shots, you think Phil Jackson gonna pull his ass because he missed 30 shots? No. Phil gonna tell his ass, man, keep shooting. So my thing is, you have to listen. Communication is such a beautiful thing, because when you are so in tune with who you are dealing with, when you are so in tune with mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually, all of that combines and forms some Voltron type shit. And it's some shit that is impossible to not enjoy, because you are touching all the spots, all 4 bases. You are touching it, and she is going to love the shit out of you forever, and vice versa. There are men out here, I want you to be in tune with me. I need you to be in tune with what I want also. There's a saying, happy wife, happy life. True enough, that saying is real. But I live by the other saying, happy spouse, happy house. So you gotta know everything and anybody. And if you pay attention so much to the world, then you have to take the time to pay attention to who you dealing with. Put more effort into it like that.
That's facts. And I'm glad you said that. the love languages. A lot of women are into these love languages and these affirmations. And the crazy thing about it is there's a lot of TV shows that dealing with relationships. They deal with them love languages. You got to speak their love language for you to get somewhere. If your love language ain't adequate to theirs, they don't want to deal with you, man. And a lot of people believe in that love language and these horoscopes and these zodiac signs. Like, I'm compatible with this person's compatible with me. But a lot of women are off into the, them affirmation and love languages. So that's key too. So the world has evolved. Relationships and marriages have evolved into different stuff from what you did back in the days. But yeah, the words of affirmation and love languages, that's key.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the beauty of it is the love language is knowing that's what pulls us together. That's what knows. Like my love language is gift giving. I love giving her gifts. I don't know why. I think it's just part of who I am. So it's like it's the little things you start to appreciate, you know. And I think it's so easy for me to give her things because she doesn't ask for things. You know, I used to friend zone a lot of women for this same reason. You come through the door and you got your hand out. No, that's automatic turnoff. Like my whole thing, and I don't know, a lot of people say I be bugging when I say this, but I say this, I should never know your struggles through the door. Not through the door. 6 months in, if you struggling, your lights or some shit like that, that's different. But through the door, I don't want to hear about your light bill due, and I barely even know your name. I barely even know anything about you. My light bill due, my car note due, shit like that through the door.
Yeah.
That's a turn off for me because that's letting me know that this is how it's always gonna be.
Yeah.
Because the question in my mind is, what was you doing before I came into the picture? You know, so that's through the door. To me, that is the biggest way to get friend zoned from a guy's point of view, through the door.
Well, see, that's a trend. You know, if they come into the, you know, through the door with that, every person that they dealt with before they started dealing with you, they was giving them the same old story. So they were just out there trying to get their bills paid and stuff like that. Yeah.
And it's a funny thing because last week I read a story. The lady showed up to a blind date with 23 other family members, expecting this dude to pay for everybody meal.
Wow.
Now, her excuse was she was testing his generosity. They said, buddy got his food, he paid for his food, and the rest was on them. And we talking, I think they said it was $1,800 or something. Some close to that. There is no way in hell.
I'm not paying that bill, nah.
Through the first date, the very first date, I don't care how bad you is, sweetheart. There is no way in hell you show up with 23 other people. It ain't happening. The women in these guys, women and men.
If I would have saw that.
Huh?
Yeah, if I'd have saw that at the time, if that was me in that situation, I'm leaving that date. I'm not staying there. Like, what is all this?
Facts.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty of it is you got to know what you're dealing with and who you around, man. Because there's no way this would have went to a first date. If I had known you was gonna show up with 20 some people, this wouldn't even got that far. You know what I'm saying? This wouldn't even got that far. And this ain't how we do things. And this ain't how we do things. And we ain't gonna do it like that.
Well, see, people date different these days, man. And I've always talked about it. I talk about it with a couple of my partners, like in the dating game. Like on that first date, do you really need to go to a restaurant and eat food all the time? Why don't you take me to Starbucks? I could take you to Starbucks or something like that. We can sit down over a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and talk about it. Let me get to know you first. And then it's up to me to say if I want to go on this second date. Now, if I want to go on this second date, then we can think about Ruth Chris or something like that. But on the first date, to go to somewhere to eat, we got to kill that, man.
And then you have to think about it too. Like I heard this woman say that this man has to get her hair and nails done and buy her outfit on the first date. Huh? What?
That's a red flag.
Red flag like a motherfucker. Like, yo, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It ain't gonna happen. And that's the reality that we living in too. Like the standards have been set. These women and men, we all go through, it's like relationships. We all go through high school and they just move us on along. They move us on to the grades. They just advance us. And then we get to college and it's a whole new ball game. It's different. Like, You have somebody who's been giving you a passing grade, knowing you ain't done shit. And now when you get to the big leagues, when you get to the major leagues, now all of a sudden you think the shit that you was doing was gonna work, you know, and it's not. Like, I'm different. Like, one lady, I remember one lady saying that her and her ex had broke up, but he was still responsible for providing for her. And I said, ain't no way. Like, once we end, we're done. All that, you know, in the words of my man Lamar from BMF, we cutting the water off. It ain't no, I'ma still pay the bills and take care of you. You have to have a child of mine's in your household before you even consider asking me for anything, and we're not together.
But see, that's the crazy thing that you said that. See, that's relationships. Now, when it comes down to a marriage and you get divorced and to go through all this spousal stuff and you go through the court system, they granting these women that stuff. You still
Facts.
gotta take care of the household.
Facts. And that's the shit. That's the Dr. Dre Act. Like,
yeah. Oh yes,
Dr. Dre gotta pay this woman until she gets married again.
Hey, no, I thought in the script was she can't be involved with nobody. And if she is involved with somebody, that money gets cut off.
Nah, I read that it was married. She has to get married again. So even if it's one or the other, she's not gonna let any of that out. Like, she's not gonna let that she's in a relationship. She's not gonna let any of that get out.
Exactly.
She's not. Like, why? Like, I'm pretty sure whatever dude she deal with is not giving her $300,000 a month. Like, whoever she's dealing with, I'm never letting this out. You're gonna have to shut your mouth. You ain't gonna never come to award shows or anything. Shut your mouth, shut up, and we gonna be set for life. Like, yeah, like, we gonna be set for life. Like, 300,000 a month.
That's crazy, man. How you know, when you're married and you get divorced, a lot of stuff comes with the territory. But it's asinine that guys always lose out. Like, it's like when you got major money like that, maybe it's not a hiccup to you. Just like when Jordan got divorced with Juanita.
Facts.
All that money, that's like pocket change to Jordan. It didn't faze him. But with Dr. Dre giving up all that money, and it's
hell
man,
yeah,
wow,
hell yeah, hell yeah. I know, and I think it's crazy too, man. It's like this plays a part into knowing who you're married.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to get rich with the same person I was broke with, but at the same time, I know it all falls on me. I'm a perfectionist in a lot of ways. I feel like if something doesn't go the way I want it to go, nobody's going to go harder than you, for you, than you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put the work in regardless. I don't care if you do. I've known guys who was in the friend zone for 10 years and got out the friend zone and took advantage of that shit. So you just have to know when your number is called. You just have to be ready. But also, if the man and the woman just want to keep you in the friend zone, find somebody who don't.
Guys are hard to accept that though, because they got their mindset on that one chick and think things gonna change. And like you said, being in the friend zone for 10 years, that's too long, man. Being in the friend zone for 10 years is too long, man. And I'm glad that's another point that you touched on about, you know, growing together. We talk about this all the time. Like,
facts.
when I met my wife, you know, when I met her, I knew what she was doing at the time. So when we got together, we build together. You know what I'm saying? I knew how much money she was making. She knew how much money I was making, because basically we was damn near at the same job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when our lives started taking off, it's like we started acquiring things together. You know what I'm saying? We started building things together. We got it from, like the terminology say, get it from the mud. Yeah, we most definitely got it from the mud, because we started a life together by building together. So that's the best ones to build with. And that's the ones that generally stay around if you meet somebody that already got something and you building toward that to get your credit score to match hers, to get your finances to match hers, that's the ones that you have a hard time staying with. But if you start building together from the mud, that's the ones that stay around and they appreciate you more.
Facts. You ain't never lied, man. I just love talking to you, man. Real talk. Like you one of the cats that I know I can get some knowledge from and pick some brains and get some knowledge from. So
The payout, baby. It's the payout, baby. Last call.
all right, man.
Don't hold your breath.
This
Get it
segment,
off your chest.
you know you've been here before. Final thoughts, man. It could
Man,
be
final thoughts on this, man. Like I said, it's funny, man, because, you know, I'm on Instagram as much as a lot of podcasters on Instagram. And, you know, I look at a lot of podcasts, like I always say this, I look at a lot of podcasts, and I really study a lot of things that a lot of podcasters do. Like when it comes to you, I you know, your little snippets and stuff like that, you know, that's stuff that's very intriguing, right?
yeah.
But then it's always a follow-up to it, right? Because when you put your little snippets on Instagram, it's appreciated. But I always want to hear the full dialogue.
Facts.
So I see you started posting more to your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Now I go over to the YouTube to catch the full,
Yeah.
you know, full dialogue and like, okay, where is he going with this? And see, this is what bothers me about a lot of podcasters, right? You know, you put a little snippet on your Instagram, right?
Facts.
And they might like that or something like that. They might give you a little comment. But when you ask them to go over to the YouTube channel to watch it,
man,
are they just liking it first?
I think you know what? A lot of that comes from ego. I think a lot of that
I don't know what it is, man. Me and my wife talk about it all the time.
They hate to see somebody doing better than them. If they feel that you're doing better than them, they're not gonna support. They're gonna give you a like. But as far as putting the actual work in and going to listen, we as podcasters, we got our favorites. Ain't nobody listening to 100 shows a week like me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's because I'm genuinely a student of the game. I love podcasters and I love hearing. But you know, I don't never worry about it. I made a post early. See, a lot of times my memes and my questions be connected to my content, and people just be catching on when the episode drop. Like I be dropping.
Like I told you when I first discovered you, I already know what it is, man. Because like we kind of think along the same lines at times.
Yeah.
Like there's always like a subliminal message somewhere in something, right? And, you know, I'm not new to this, man. I'm true to this, man. So I know when it comes across. When I look at some of your stuff, I don't care. You know, for the people that's watching this or the people that's going to listen to this, we just stating facts, man. This is nothing against no podcaster. I'm not saying I'm better than you. He's not
hey, you know me.
You, but
I'm gonna talk about shit.
I appreciate you don't hold back. But the thing about it is, what I'm trying to say to these podcasters, man, in this community, everybody can eat, but you got to show the support. Like, for instance, when you DM me your lives and stuff like that, sometimes I might be busy at basketball practice.
Facts. I already know. That's why I send them.
I watch them. You know, I go back and watch them, right? So like when you post your full YouTube clips, let me go over to see what the whole dialogue is about.
Facts.
Let me see what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So like you did, you know, your episodes with the manuscript. I've been following them. You know what I'm saying? I'm following the man. You did a podcast tutorial. I follow that stuff, right?
Facts.
So when people DM, I'm gonna let people know, because I know you got a lot of people that comes on your show and does a lot of things and they stay in tune to you. I'm gonna let you guys know. If you DM me your YouTube or anything like that, hey, SAPP is on it. I'm watching it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let you down. I'm not like these other people where you'll send them your YouTube clip, they'll just give you a thumbs up. But they actually over there supporting you, listening to your content. That's my final thoughts on that.
And what they don't know is I'm trying to get you to come do a show with me, man. We need to do a little weekly show of me and you, man. I think live. I'm talking about live. Like,
I mean, we can do that.
Like,
I mean, I'm
yeah.
down for it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, I mean, I just look at a lot of podcasts. A lot of podcasters hold back. A lot of podcasters don't really want to speak their mind because they think that they stepping on somebody's toes, man. Hey, you gotta have thick skin in the podcast game, man.
Yep.
That's just like, you know, these sports players. They got thick skin because the media beats them up. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
you know, as a podcaster, we content creators, just like these YouTubers that put this old silly stuff out there, and you go follow that. But when somebody is really dropping knowledge and giving good content and good topics to talk about, and you don't support, because I look at YouTube a lot, and I'm like, man, these people got great content, but why ain't nobody watching their stuff, man? That stuff just bothers me.
I never really do it for the views. My shit gonna get there. I'm working.
I understand,
working around the clock to get my shit there.
When I first started out, I had a hard time like
Facts.
that. We putting out good content, man, but why nobody listening or watching?
That's exactly how I felt. And it's like, all right, it's gonna hit eventually. Cause this season I'm giving them all heat. Every episode is heat. I'm giving it to them. And this ain't gonna be nothing less. But y'all know what it is. My final thoughts is this, man. It's always a pleasure when I get up with you, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Simply Ball Dropping. I try to catch y'all lives and shit too, man. So y'all got to know I'm walking these podcast streets. I be out here looking and lurking, man. So shout out to you. I want to say, fellas and ladies, we love y'all. But at the same time, y'all got to love y'allself. Y'all gotta love yourself. It is impossible to love somebody if you truly don't know how to love yourself first. That is the most important thing. I can't tell you how to love me because I don't know how to love me. That doesn't make sense. But if I know how I want to be loved and I know how I want to be treated, then you will in turn know that. You will know everything about me, mind, body, soul, and spirit, because I have done in tune with myself. When you get out of a relationship, please take some time to heal. Don't go from one relationship, oh, I'm done with this, but I like you. I'm going to leave this relationship and get with you. Take the time to heal and get to know that person.
Yes.
Because once you go through, I told you, people are too busy getting up to walk out the door instead when they could have just closed it, locked it, and worked in it shit in-house. My thing has always been, like I said earlier, I'd rather take my lake, it's mine, I know what's in it, than a big-ass ocean that's got everybody and their mama in it, and you don't know where they've been. Y'all know what it is with me, man. SAPP, man.
I think you need to get a shirt.
Say it again.
Yeah, I think you need to get something printed on there. Lakes and oceans, man. That everybody likes that little sequility that's used, man. So
let everybody know where they can find you at. Let everybody know what y'all got going on.
Man, you know, this is Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, man. You know, we do the roundtable talk, we do the marriage chronicles, we do the sports podcast, man. You can catch me on, you know, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Google Play, you know, all the major streaming platforms on the Simply Ball Dropping. Just type Simply Ball Dropping in without the G, and we'll come up. Catch me on Facebook, catch me on IG, catch me on YouTube, man. And like I said, I appreciate the time, Big Smash.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Y'all know what it is. I catch y'all on the next go round.